Yeah. Nah, man. You know we gotta do a joint for the ladies, right? So every club worldwide, we gonna move y'all like this. Come on. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. It's Friday night when the club lines be out the door.
Hey, welcome back to the Meko Williams Show, and we're doing this out of Pack Stereo TV Live, okay? And this is out of View Park, California. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, Meko Williams, and I have a few things that I want to talk about today for the first segment, which is called Meko's Reality. Yeah, I just happened to say this is one of those weeks where I had a tough one, but I'm okay. You know why? Because I'm doing my thing. And I do have to say that, there's a couple of things that I do want to talk about, but I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of things while I'm doing that. And you guys just check it out. Here's what I have to say in regards to that. I had a funeral that I had to attend. You want to know what's happening with me. We buried my stepfather, and it's what we call the homecoming. We don't look at it as a funeral. We look at it as a homecoming. This man has served in World War II in Vietnam. Wow. Well, we found out a couple of things about him because he's actually been presented with a Purple Heart Award, in letter. And we found that out because we didn't know about it. And usually when our seniors and, our elders tell us things, they're like a walking book of knowledge. So you definitely want to be able to, talk to them and find out what their history was like, what they've been through. And it was interesting because they never tell you everything. And I always say when a person is alive, tell them that you love them when they're alive, not when they're gone. And I'm not trying to make this a sad show. It is about my reality, so that's what happened. So in regards to that, we celebrated, we talked about them, and we came up with a lot of laughs and memories. And if you're not close to your parents, talk to them at least once a week. Let them know that you love them while they're here. Your grandparents, whoever raised you. Because when they're not here, they're not here. Well, enough with all that jazz. We had a good time, actually. People look at funerals as a sad thing because, they don't want the people to go. Well, it taught me one thing, that I needed to look into my own, financial background and planning and make sure that I have what you call my stuff together. Yeah, so make sure you got your stuff together. You never know what's going to happen or how long you're going to be here. But, blessed let it be, and prayers that God keep you here for a longer time you intended to be here. And to lead into my next question and also topic, my daughter called me because, she FaceTimed me for the first time. She's in Georgia. I'm happy to say she FaceTimed me, so I'm learning how to work that out on my iPad. And let me tell you, honey, we were both like super happy, because she's grown up and she's doing her thing. She's doing martial arts. She's an honor roll student and she wants to become an astronaut. So you never know who you're raising. Her thing is math, English, and science, mainly science. So ladies, parents, single dads, if you're out there and you got children that's inspired to be something very great, maybe something that you wanted to be that you wasn't able to accomplish, make sure on your watch that it happens. I'm just saying, my advice, make sure, because this little ham right here, she knows that her mommy and daddy got her back. So she asked me an interesting question because the kids were joking about this in school, and I asked her, what is it that you want to ask me? She said, Mom, I have to say, I'm feeling kind of scared. And I said, what about? She said, the kids are talking about we're going to all die because of some outbreak. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, the Ebola. And I was trying to gather all my thoughts and trying to figure out how do you explain to a 10-year-old, a minor, about something that you're scared of yourself as an adult. I'm just saying. I'm not ready to have that conversation with her or anybody, really. That's a minor. So she said, Mom, I gotta find out what this stuff is about. And I said, well, I just want to read something to you. She said, is it scary? And I said, well, kind of, but I don't want to scare you more than you're already scared. And so, most parents say you don't tell your kids that you're scared because then they get super scared. I was like, no, forget that. I said, baby, I'm scared. I said, I don't know all there is to know about it, but we could Google it and read about it, and we can actually ask people that are in the medical field about how to go about handling that. So I said, wash your hands every time, be careful, and just, watch the news when you get a chance, to catch up on it, or have dad to, sit down with you at the computer, and you and dad both could read about it. She said, that's not good enough, Mom. I said, what? She said, that stuff is like the movie The Outbreak, how they're explaining it. So is it spreading like worldwide? And I said, well, not yet. And she goes, is it going to? And I said, oh, not yet. She said, okay, Mom, I'm going to do what you just said. I'm going to go Google it because it sounds like we both don't know. I said, you right. You got that right. We both don't know. So that was a conversation I had with my daughter. And she was scaring me. What do you say to a kid? You don't want to think about it yourself. So that was what I had to deal with. So right after this commercial, we're going to come right back and talk about more about my reality. Okay? Check it out.
Watch out. Do that one more time on the Meko Williams Show. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're listening to the Meko Williams Show with your host, Meko Williams. Let's go. Oh, mean. Did you hear that? Let's try that one more time. Ready? Go. On the Meko Williams Show.
Well, welcome back. And I did say we was going to actually be doing continuance of the Meko reality. And yeah, this is Meko Williams, your host on Pack Stereo TV. And I did leave off talking about the Ebola epidemic. Did I say that right? I got tongue tied. What do you tell the kids? Because it's one thing when it gets to the parents and people that are grown that kind of understands. But what about the little people? How do you explain that to them without them being more scared than you? So my way out of it, because let me tell you, I was trying to weasel my way out of it, I'm not gonna lie, with my daughter, because I didn't want to have that conversation. And I said, you know what, I got to get out of this conversation with her, because kids like to ask that, but why and you're like, oh my God. So I have a person that's actually in the caller queue, and I want to open up the phone lines and see what they have to say to that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the phone line and hear what they have to say in regards to the Ebola. So you're on live with Meko Williams, and tell us where you're calling from and your name, or you can stay anonymous. Number 0526. Hello.
Hi, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
How are you? You're live.
I'm good.
With Meko Williams on the air. And, I'm talking about the Ebola right about now. My daughter asked me that question. What do you say to little kids? Do you have little kids?
Can you say that again? I couldn't hear you. Say that one more time.
I said my daughter called me about asking about the Ebola. What do you tell little kids about that? Do you have any kids?
Well, I did have kids. Now they're grown women now.
Oh, okay.
But the Ebola virus. Well, I guess that I'll probably have to do a little bit of research first on more of it. But I can, most of the time you're talking to kids about, it depends upon the age. I mean,
10 years
kids
old.
that you're saying, are there young kids?
They're very
like
young.
13?
Oh, yeah. We're talking about a 10 years old. 10
wow.
years old. Yeah, that's what I said. But first of all, tell us your name and what state and city you're calling from.
Well, I am the man of steel, and I'm calling from down south. That is Georgia.
Well, welcome aboard, Man of Steel. Much love to you. Yes, we all familiar who you are.
Man of Steel.
Much love to you, sweetie.
What's up?
I've been waiting to. Man of Steel.
Yes, Mario Hemsley, the CEO of Pack Stereo, said, "Hello, my brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome." He really loves your name.
I used to be Man of Steel.
I'm really honored to be here. I've been telling everybody on Facebook and most of the people that down south my way, I say, hey, man, y'all need to check out Pack Stereo. It is the bomb. It is on point. It's all there. It's a bag of chips and gravy. That's how we do down south.
That's right. That's right. I mean? Big ups to ATL. Yeah, I've been down there in Marietta and Fulton County. Yeah, I'm all familiar down there in Buckhead, Lenox Mall and all that. Yeah, I know all about it. But you know what? I'm happy.
I gotta come up there and check. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I'm happy, and I love the shout out that you gave for Pack Stereo and Meko Williams and Bumper the Junket. Thank you for shouting us out many and many of times. You didn't have to, but we humbly thank you for doing that. And I'm glad that you was able to call into the show and actually voice your opinion about the Ebola and how do you explain it to a minor, because I sure was trying to weasel my way out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I would have probably a difficult time. The thing I probably would try to get a lot of advice from teachers or counselors before I start to do my own personal explanation on it. And definitely I want to be educated on it, because kids are really smart these days.
Yes.
Even if they're young,
definitely.
They have incredible questions. So I would rather, just do my homework first on it, not just go by just my, my own personal thing on it.
You know what, Man of Steel?
I would also like to do some more homework and research on it, but if I was to tell them, I would probably explain to them that it is a very dangerous disease, and we are still trying to
figure it out,
find a cure for it, and find out what way we can, solve the problem.
Well, Man of Steel, I like that you said that. In a perfect world with a white picket fence, I didn't have that time to say all that or do all that. She hit me out of the blue today with it on FaceTime. So, man, let me tell you, I didn't have a chance to go do nothing. Nothing. So it's like, oh, shoot. What do I say now? Because she got me in a corner, dude. Really. I'm like, whoa.
I think it's okay for parents to admit that they don't have the answers.
I did, which I did.
Without being specific, I have a long history working in the health environment, specifically with children. And I can tell you that under these circumstances, what's usually best is to tell them the truth. The issue is that most adults themselves are ill prepared, and so therefore they don't handle the situation. They themselves get caught up. And sometimes it's just best to tell them, listen, I'm still trying to deal with this myself. But what happens is we communicate to our children an air of fear, where the discussion actually should revolve around how do we deal as individuals as growing and dealing with things that we find fearful.
Well, that's true, Mario.
Because
a lot of
the
parents,
world is full of that.
A lot of parents do feel like that. If they tell their child if they tell their child they don't know, they feel like the child's going to look at them as less of a person, when in fact I said do the opposite. If you don't know, tell your child you don't know.
Children,
and like I told my daughter, we could look it up and Google it together, or have your dad help you, because she's in Cumming, Georgia, and she's like, wow, is it like outbreak? And I'm like, sorta, it could go to that level, but United States is working on trying to, keep it at a lower level. She goes, well, can we die? I said, sure, if it's not treated properly and if we don't treat it in time. So she was okay with that bit of information I did give her.
Well, I think these are opportunities for us to specifically deal with the issues of fear. In other words, this is just a symptom. In other words, now it's Ebola, next will be something else. So the whole issue is we have to talk to our children about what the world is like and how do we deal with things that are frightening. And you could do this at even an earlier age than 10, because this is actually how you kind of shape their minds.
That's true.
For the future, because there's going to be a lot of scary things out there. What do we do when things are frightening to us?
We panic.
Well, yeah. So what we have to do is start to teach our children how to deal with crisis.
But at the same time, you have to also practice what you preach and you teach as
well.
well.
That's the hard part, because remember, I prefaced this by saying the parents themselves are not ready to deal with issues. Now, let me just tell you,
that's what I
you think
just
this is
off and
hard,
said, too.
give them something like sex.
Oh, she got that down pat.
Like when they come up and ask you, what is this or what is that? This is also areas that, for the same kinds of reasons, because your answer should not make you want to go get out a book.
Oh, okay. No, mine made me actually go to, because I have a daughter.
Well, because the first answer should be more general. In other words, instead of trying to give them, you're trying to give them a history lesson or trying to give them a biology lesson. You should just deal with the overall, what you know in general,
right? I also
without trying to be too detailed,
right? But at the same time, my parents raised me very openly with them. They didn't hide anything. So the minute that I asked the question, the minute they explained it to the best of their knowledge with the best resources that they had at the time to educate me on what they knew. Anything that they didn't know, they told me to go out and seek it and go to the library or watch videos if it was available. So with my daughter, she knows about sex, and she knows I teach her, certain things about body parts that people shouldn't touch because it's a violation. And she had her first demonstration in school where a kid actually tried to be aggressive because they weren't taught properly. And kids are like sponge. They soak up so much information, and what you do in your household, they reflect to the public. So one of the little kids, not to get off track, tried to pull her pants down while she was at the water fountain, and actually did do so. So my daughter went after her, and she whooped her ass. I'm sorry to say that. And the principal called me, and the principal said, "Hey, you need to get down here because your daughter having a conversation like she's an adult." I said, "Well, what happened?" So he proceeded to explain, and I said, "Okay, yeah, the kid deserved it." And he goes, "Wait a minute." I said, "Well, I teach my daughter this." So my daughter had told the principal and the vice principal she is not going to tolerate that because it is a violation, and she is not happy with that behavior, and she will not tolerate that behavior. And that's what she's sticking by. She said, if you got a problem, you can call my mom because she's a nicer person, or you can call my dad because he's ex-military and he's a sniper. So which one you want? So I said, oh, wow. So the principal was like, we're calling you because we don't want the dad to come down. So we're going to call you. So I went down there, and I felt bad because, the little girl didn't know. And I don't fault the little girl because she wasn't taught a certain way. And you have to look at the parents of how you're raising your child in your household and what they're showing in the public. Because when you can't police your children 24/7.
Everybody doesn't agree.
That's true, but you can't police your child 24/7. So you teach them as much as you can. So when they get out in the world or away from out of your sight, they know how to conduct themselves to a certain point or level. So that was what she demonstrated, and the principal said, hey, I've never met a child that was so adamant about that. Most kids are timid or they scared to tell. Your daughter was not having it. She didn't care if you was a dote or not. She was in our behinds, and I said, all right, my job was done.
Well, how about complex issues like death?
Now that's different. My daughter,
or birth.
Well, I actually talked to my daughter about the birth, so she knows all about that. She knows about things that revolve around her being a young girl, going from preteen to teen. She's ready for that part, as far as her bodily functions, what to do in case mommy or daddy is not around. So I'm glad to say that she knows that part, and she knows what to do, and she has a cell phone, and she knows how to make that call to either one of us, So I do feel good about that. But as far as like natural disasters, things that are like plagues and stuff like that, she's not ready for, and mommy's not ready for. So I let her know that I'm not ready for it, and I'm not all the final say in the resources where education and wisdom, everything comes from. You can look it up, you can find it, you can search it, you can ask other people, which is no problem. So that's what she does, and I'm glad to say that she does do that.
How about death?
Death, she still has questions about that.
No, I mean, what do you say?
Well, my way of telling her that is that a life cycle starts in the beginning and it has an expiration date, in your book of life. writes all of your experience from that point on to the end, and when it gets close to your expiration date, your expiration date is what God intends on it to be. And that's it. That was my way of explaining it to her, without getting too complex or trying to go into the deep end of things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't even need today's complex issues, the everyday issues. Which was my point. The everyday issues are kind of butt kickers. Just the everyday, regular, because when you explain safety, you have to explain why.
Right. And that's a good practice. You always say why.
So to me, it's at least good to struggle with it. Let's put it like this. And remember, don't worry so much about being perfect, but to at least try to deal. You know what? Kids deal honestly. This is the point I meant to tell you, Meko. You realize that by 13 or 14, most children have decided whether or not their parents are idiots or not.
Oh, my daughter would tell you right off the bat.
A whole bunch of them.
God.
Can you remember how you were? There were people by the time you were 15 and 16 who knew they could not trust their parents' advice. They would just say, my parents know nothing.
Oh, that's
absolutely
sad.
Nothing.
Oh, my God.
Okay, whatever they say, I should do the exact opposite.
Oh.
All of us don't have parents that give good advice.
That's true, and that's something that I practice with my daughter. I tell my daughter, because I felt bad, I say, you know what, mommy don't know everything, but what mommy don't know, mommy will get the answer for you, or find out, or point the person that knows more than the situation or whatever it is you want to know, and will give you the answer. So she knows that.
Well, that's teaching them an attitude. See what you just did?
She knows that.
You taught them a mechanism for addressing the unknown by teaching them that they should go look it up. But see what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't know or have the expectation that when they mention something, my dad used to always tell me, go look it up.
Okay. Oh,
and I had to go to encyclopedia, go look it up.
Wow.
So what you're doing is giving them a coping mechanism so that they can approach the unknown.
Right.
They'll know to go look it up.
Mommy tries to do what she can when she can. But, I wanted my daughter to not have these high expectations that I felt like I might fail one day. So instead of going that route, it was like, look, mommy don't know everything. Mommy is trying to do her best with what she can do and what she's allowed to do, and mommy's a go-getter. Mommy make mistakes, mommy's not perfect, but mommy try to do things excellent. So she knows that for her, she's like, mommy, it's okay, she's like, well, we'll learn together. And I'm like, oh, okay.
By the time they're 16, they will have distinct opinions.
My daughter
about all of you pretty much young folk will have distinct opinions about their parents, whether they want to be like them, what they like and don't like, and they can be very specific too about the kinds of things that they don't like, and they're usually very clear by the time they're 16.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have long.
What you say about that man of steel? You see, he just threw me like that. Oh wow. What you say about that man of steel? I mean, you have two daughters.
Well, everything y'all was saying, I was just paying very close attention to, and I can dig everything y'all saying. I mean, but it seems to be a lot more easier today if you want to explain to your kids. I mean, back when my kids were kids, you really it was. You could explain the details of it, and then the school would explain detail of it. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
I took the class. We had sex education class. Your parents had to sign a little note saying you could take it.
Yeah. And that's when you learn about the condoms or the baby dolls or the eggs that you can't drop on the ground. You killed your baby.
Well, imagine this. Imagine if today, if you take your time addressing issues, your kids will come to you because what they learn on TV is going to push you to the brink.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yes,
That's
Lord.
what they learn on regular cable TV.
Man, okay.
So you may think you're waiting.
Hey, but that's my reality, though. My daughter hit me out of the blue with that question, and I was like, huh? What? Ooh, out. You're like, you know what? Forget it. But, enough of all that jazz. We're going to come right back. We got a few more minutes to spare right after these commercials. So check it out.
Hey, this is PMC, producer, beatmaker out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And you're listening to my friend Meko Williams on the Meko Williams Show on Blog Talk Radio. Keep it locked.
Well, hey, welcome back to the Meko Williams Show. where we talk about my reality for the first segment. Yeah, I have Man of Steel that's online here with Pack Stereo TV with Meko Williams. And also I got my Papa Bear Mario Hensley in the house. Much love to you both. You know, representing ATL out of Georgia. Yeah, we're talking about how do you explain to your kids the scare attack, what we call social media scare. You know, Ebola. What do you do? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know, there's certain things that I want to tell her, and there's certain things I don't want to tell her. But you know, when it comes to your babies, you know, you get even more protective, and you want to tell them things that don't scare them into the closet. But they're gonna close the door on you.
I wonder, Meko, I wonder what the churches.
I don't know what they're saying.
Because you know what? I mean, I guess there's a part of me that's old-fashioned, but I would say this: for many of the folks out there that have a church establishment where that's a big part of their life.
Yes.
This could be a good source of help, or maybe not. I don't know. I would think that we need to deal with the spirituality.
Yes.
Of sex and commitment at some point. Even without in a non-denominational way. One of the things that I know that's lacking that we don't address is intimacy.
Well, you know, I don't want to turn it into religious-based things because that can go hours and days and weeks and years. But what I do have to say, yes, you hit a very hot spot there when it comes to sex and religion, because a lot of viruses, they're saying that they trickle down to people in other third world countries having sex, not clean sex, or multiple partners, and this is supposed to be the evolution of the crazy strands of different viruses. Well, I don't believe that 100%. I don't believe that 100%, and the reason being because there's things that are man-made viruses versus natural cause viruses. Now, there's been different cultures that have been on this planet for God knows how long, and they haven't had all these high-end technologies and all these fancy equipments to do things. So how did they get by, and how did they cure their people without the information we have today? So I think there's a glitch in our society when it comes to certain things. I don't think we're going 100% backwards, but I sure and a damn well don't think we're going 100% forward. What you say about that, Man Steel?
Well, I don't want to preach to you now.
Watch out now. Well, I hear you.
Because when they come down to down south, we take our turn serious.
Ooh, whoa.
That's right.
Watch it.
That's right.
Watch it now.
That's why. That's why.
That's right. Look at Mario. He grinning for. Well, you know, it's a lot, you know, that's missing from history and things that we don't teach our kids. And I think it starts with us first as parents. You know, what you're not sure about, find out. What you're scared to talk about, get somebody to help you talk about. Go do some research. But, you know, it starts at home. And I'm going to say that. And I'm standing by that. It starts at home. You gotta talk to the babies. You got to. And when they leave the house, you pray to God that they're okay, and you pray to God that, you know, that they at least heard something and carried it with them from your conversation as a parent, you know, from one parent to another, you know. And if you're not a parent, when you eventually want to have kids, you know, you only know your child better than anybody else. So when you don't feel bad. If you don't know, say you don't know, find out. Getting them books, find out. Google is one of the world's biggest dictionary you can find. Can't go wrong with that. If you don't have a laptop, an iPad, a mini pad, you got cell phones. They got track phones. You know, they got packages you can get the internet on. Use it. Learn it. Kids are popping out of hospitals faster than microwave ovens on manufactured, you know, lines, and can tell you things that you're supposed to know that you don't know. So get in tune with it. Find out. Ask questions. If you don't know something, some kids know more than we do. Hey, I'm just saying.
I agree with you 100%, Meko. I do agree with you 100%. And I just want to say, you know, like I said, when I was raising my daughters, it was it was a lot of information that they wanted to know about. Whether it dealt with sex, whether it dealt with whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
nowadays it's a lot more. It's a lot more valuable information that you can get, more than just it coming from you talking about your time and back in the day's time.
Right.
There's a lot of information out there.
Right.
So we really got the advantage now to let our children know even more and even research with them a lot more on details. And it's best for us to let them know as parents that there are some things that the world may tell you that that's controversial or whatever, but always you're teaching your children and letting them know that but there's some standards. There's some standards that that you need to take in stride, like finishing school, going to college, or getting involved into something that you want to be, and also some impacts on Black history that they should also know about. Let's not just limit our child just to know about just what's going on today, but also know about our past, our history. It's a surprising fact. It's a surprising thing when a lot of our children don't even know Black history.
Well, that's true. So, well, not to take it that long. Not to take it that long.
We have the advantage now to be able to search on internet, or be able to search different sites, or even listen to the people that voice an opinion on positive things that's going on with people in general. So it's a better advantage than what we had back in the past.
Well, you know what?
We just tell them, okay, now you don't
well, wait a minute now. You going on a rampage right about now. I like what you're saying, brother. I like what you're saying, but we're into the 8 o'clock on the dot hour, and right after these messages we're going to come back. Man, it's still welcome. If you would like to stay tuned for the second segment of the show, which is Bump It or Junk It, just stay tuned. You can be a part of the voting if you would like, but right after these messages we'll be right back. So thank you for joining us today on this show. Here we go.
Shout out to Pack Stereo with Meko Williams, Victor Allen, and Maren Hemsley. Keep listening, y'all. They be doing their thing, playing the right tunes, and just they make it make you feel at home when you listen to them. And when I get a chance, just take a listen to Pack Stereo TV. It's always popping up. One love.
Bump It or Junk It, where we showcase your indie artists. I'm your host, Meko Williams. Let's go.
The current state of music is always changing as we slowly embrace a full digital life revolution. Uploading acapellas, drum beats, and guitar riffs to the World Wide Web, from one countryside to the next. It's an international love affair, and new music is our gift to the free world. Our freedom of expression is only limited by our creativity, so we stand together, and because of it, our voices are unlimited. We represent every corner of the world as we broadcast.
Well, hey, welcome back. This is the second segment of the show. Man, still hold on, please. This is Pack Stereo TV. I'm your host, Meko Williams, and you're listening to the second part, which is called Bump It or Junk It, where we showcase your indie artists. Remember, 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest, where we rate your artists. Music, songs, also the arrangements, the lyrics, the content and message, and the beat. So if you like it, 1 is the lowest. Remember, chopping block is 5 and below, we're going to dump it, and if it's 5 and above, we're going to bump it, meaning that you can relate and you will play it more than once and listen to. So just go ahead and listen to the show, and we're going to play a couple of artists from ccmixter.org tonight, and one of our favorite features that'll be featuring tonight will be Love Shadow, and also another person who we like so much is Gyrus. And then we have a new and up-and-coming artist that actually logged on and put his stuff on there called Unreal DM. Yeah, we're going to actually listen to some stuff that's really nice, give you old school rhythm and blues and jazz feel. So right now we're going to be listening to Love Shadow, and the title is You Help Me Take It In. Here we go.
it is filled with spirits, while the tiger's mouth is open.
Doves in the garden are nesting anew. You help me take it in.
You help me take it in.
You help me take it in. They come in pairs. The white butterflies, dusted in blue. The hawk was there too. These are my ambassadors.
These are my ambassadors.
Transformation. There was peace in the garden today. You help me take it in.
You help me take it in.
You help me take it in. They come in pairs. The white They come in pairs. The white butterflies, dusted in blue. The hawk was there too. These are my ambassadors.
These are my ambassadors.
Transformation. There was peace in the garden today. You help me take it in.
You help me take it in.
You help me take it in. They come in pairs. You help me take it in.
You help me take it in.
You help me take it in.
They come in pairs.
The white butterfly.
Well, welcome back to Bumper to Junket with your host Meko Williams on Pack Stereo TV. And yeah, I kind of like that. You know, I picked that and it was from Love Shadow. It was something new that he put out there. And I give that about a 9 even. I liked how it came across. It was very different. And it was one of those, it didn't grow on me. It was one of those songs where I was like, yeah, I could groove to that. So I will bump it. What you say about that, Mario? You over there bouncing. You over there bouncing.
Okay, now you know I'm a Love Shadow fan.
Hey.
So yeah, I think for him that's a 7.
Okay. Ooh, that was a low.
No, it's not low. It's just that he has a bunch of stuff that I think is.
Okay. So, Manistil, if you're still there, go ahead.
Let me bring him up
and tell us what you like about that, you know, jazz kind of techno feel that you just heard by the artist on CC Mixer called Love Shadow. Remember, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, 5 is playing it safe. So you can go left with the 5 or right with the 5. Which way you going?
Well, you know, I have to give it an 8 because it has a very smooth and it's a pretty smooth and pretty well selected song. So I'll give it an 8.
All right. All right, now watch out. Okay, Vic, what you say about that? Because we're gonna include you in on this because you over there bouncing and jiggling.
I'm having a rough time.
Okay.
I'm having a rough time because I'm trying to take in the 49ers beat down 42-10 by the Denver Broncos. So just flow with me right now. I need help, and right now.
Did he just smack me in the face with my team got whooped?
It's getting
42-10.
42-10.
Oh,
I don't know. That's sodomy.
Help me, Jesus! You know I'm a 49er fan.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to hear that news. Yes. I was doing all right, but now sister got to cut you.
Yeah. And so,
oh well, it's just a game.
That's right.
Dang, you know, but I got to give it to Denver. They're pretty good.
No.
But I didn't expect.
42-10.
Wait. Okay, I know I'm not supposed to segue on my show, but
Too late.
the sorry ass Rams whooped Seattle.
They're not
Seahawks.
sorry.
They're not sorry.
They
You better
sorry.
go back to your love shadow.
Okay,
Thank you.
I got to do something.
Man of Steel.
Thank you.
Man of Steel, thank you for that, sweetie. You know how they do me. See how they do me? Just threw me under the bus.
Sound's in the house.
Sound ain't in the house. Sound is not regulated. Okay, so what you give him?
Well,
Victor?
see, like I said, I needed some inspirational moments.
You know what?
After seeing and going through that, that's why I was quiet.
TMI.
Anybody can send a message that you helped me take it in. You get a 9.5 from me. I'm just visualizing women
You know
background
what?
singing it, and
Hey, that's
actually,
if you sexual.
I'm just
Love
thinking,
it, like
thinking
it.
about women.
Back door, front door. It don't matter to me.
What are we
Just,
talking about?
I'm sorry.
I know what are we talking
You know
about?
what? And on that note, we're going to listen to this drop. That's all right.
Man of Steel.
Hold on, because here we
Man
go.
of Steel and I got lost on that
That's
part.
okay. Y'all catch up. Y'all
we
catch
get
up.
distracted.
Lord have mercy. And on that note, here we go.
Hey, this is PMC, producer, beatmaker out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you're listening to my friend Meko Williams on the Meko Williams Show on Blog Talk Radio. Keep it locked.
Well, welcome back. And Man of Steel, hold on, please. You know, you ain't helping me none, brother. God dang it. I'm just saying. I'm your host, Meko Williams, and you know I got to give Man of Steel much love out of hot Atlanta, ATL. That's how they do on the East Coast. Here on Pack Stereo TV, we're actually going to bump that song instead of dump or junk that song. So it's all right. So we got another person that's coming up, and it happens to be Jairus. You know, he's a newbie in the group when it comes to ccmixter.org, but we got a runner up. So let's listen and check them out. Here we go. If you like a little smooth jazz and a little bit of alternative music, just a little bit of tuned down. Listen, here we go. Jairus.
I see the moon's reflection in my glass of garnet wine. Seems its face is full of sorrow. The sorrowful is mine. It's time for me to break all ties, make sail for the line, where the sea kisses the sky. Where the sea kisses the sky. Now my glass is broken, fractured like my heart and mind. I'm a ticket mark for nowhere, and I'll take it as a sign to break away, make no last try. My fate lies on that line, where the sea kisses the sky, where the sea kisses the sky. My ticket's marked for nowhere, and I'll take it as a sign to sail away. Make sail for that silver line where the sea
Well, welcome back to Bump It or Junkie with your host, Meko Williams. I kind of like that. Well, Mario, what do you have to say to stuff
I kind of like it too, but now I'm going to give it a 7 again.
Ooh.
Now let me
so
just tell you why,
sevens.
you guys. Only because when I give you an 8 or a 9 or a 10, I want it to be kind of clear. This is 7 means, remember, that means I would keep playing it, right?
Okay.
7 means I would download it. I would keep playing it. But some song, but it's in a group now.
It's not the heavy banger.
It's not immediate wow, but it's solid enough that I would download it and play it and put it on my iPod in a playlist. Okay, but that's when you get a 7. When I got the immediate wow factor, that's going to be at least usually a 9.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, hey, okay. So I mean, I give it, an 8. My thing, What you got, Vic, for us? What you got?
Well, now that I'm still recovering.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just saying.
I had to ask.
Score again?
Hey, look,
The
I'm going to be honest with
creature
you.
from the Black Lagoon. Oh,
I was going to give them a lower score, but I gave them a 7. The reason why? It's because it appeared to me they played live instruments. That they were all live. If they're not,
yes, you know,
they actually pulled it off so well. You listen to the drums and everything. I said, okay, they're doing this live. So I'm giving them a 7. Right?
Definitely, yes. Man of Steel, what you say about that, sweetie?
Is there such a thing as 7.5?
Yes, it's 0.5. It's called 7.5. Yeah. Okay, so it's pretty much got all the 7s. Okay, so it's got all the 7s. Wow, that's interesting. So that was by Gyrus, and the song is called Garnet Wine. I like that. I did put it in chat so you can get it. And also on Twitter. So yeah, we're putting that out there.
All right, banged it out for you.
But Mario's like, it's a 7, so I would definitely play it. Anything above a 5 is good. Anything. So that's a good thing that it was above the 5. So, these songs are really getting scored pretty nice from ccmixter.org. And, the artists for each one, they are listening to the show today. So they know. I told them at any time they can chime in, listen, call, or actually chat, or, Twitter, tweet.
Well, I would say this.
So I like that. Yeah.
All those artists, you make me want to go back and check out more of what they have to offer.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Because they uploaded a whole lot of new stuff.
The track doesn't make me want to discount them. I mean, I gave them a 7, but it means that would make me go back and look at your profile and play more of your tracks.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we got somebody else that we're going to play. This is a newcomer here. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and go listen to Unreal. Now, Unreal is a little different, but it's nice too. So, let's try that. Here we go. Let's leave that. Let me go back to it and find out how to play this. This is Unreal, so check it out. You're going to listen, and it's a little bit of old groove. So, let's see. It's called History and Chemistry, featuring artist Sage, and it's by Unreal.
I don't like when you don't talk to me when I'm here with you. After all I let you see, after you're inside of me. You don't give me anything after all that we've been through. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know why I'm with you. Break it down to the nth degree. History and chemistry. You are here and I am there. That's the only thing we share. I give up, I don't dare. Hope that you will come to me.
I'll say.
With follow-up inquiry, do you care what I mean? I don't know, I don't know, I don't know why I'm with you. Break it down to the nth degree. History and chemistry. Still you want my approval, still you want my best wishes. the nth degree. I know you and you know me. Nothing is as comforting as history and chemistry. Break it down to the nth degree. I know you and you know me. Nothing is as comforting as history and chemistry. Still you want my approval, still you want my best wishes. Still you want me to listen to you, you want my kisses. I don't know where I'm with you. History and chemistry. History and chemistry.
Ooh, child.
Nothing is as comforting as history and chemistry. Nothing is as comforting as history and chemistry.
Da, 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 da. Hey, welcome back to Bumper the Junkie with your host Meko Williams, and I have to say, chemistry, history. I can't sing that, but you know what? It sounds a little bit like Scooby-Doo back in the, I don't know what type of day. You know, bell bottoms, tight tank top, and no, I call it the fishbowl haircut. But I give that a 6.5. Okay, they barely made it. What you say, Mario? Because you over there cheesing.
Well,
ooh, child.
I thought the vocals were well done. I thought the production was well done.
It was cute.
Mixing, engineering, the production was well done. I just didn't really like the song. I'd give it a 5.
Damn. Oh, sorry.
But the production first rate. The vocals were solid.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't really care for the song. It's
I
a
didn't
5.
either. I didn't either. I just had to put one out there. What'd you say, Man of Steel? Because she was history and chemistry.
They didn't even get to the hook.
Oh, yeah. I had to give it a 6 minus.
He went negative. He dumped that quick in the trash. Got you, bro.
I mean, it was a well put forth effort, but it just seemed like it wasn't getting to my brain cells.
No, I'm with you, brother.
I wasn't feeling it.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
No.
Amen to that. What you say, Victor?
Look, I'm being generous by going 6.5. The reason why, I always believe, I always believe that it sounds like it was a live recording again. It sounds like it's the instruments, real instruments, the whole thing. When you can put that together, it's cool. So I think I'm being generous with 6.5 because it's not my style of music. Not at all.
It's not my style.
So I have to take it away from me and go, well, it's not my style doesn't mean it's not good music for somebody else. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and go 6.5.
We had to give Victor the theme song about his long journey of how he just feels that it's just not right.
Not hitting me. Not hitting me in the head, but love the attempt. Love the attempt. I got a couple of twos on
It doesn't make me. I would not go look at that artist's profile.
No. But I did say it's a new person.
See, remember, to me,
did say it's a new
does
person.
the track make you want to go read about their profile?
No.
See,
No.
that's the deciding point, because that doesn't make you look at their other material.
No, it doesn't.
What you may like.
Well, you know, we did say we showcase indie artists, and indie artists, that one there, Mr. or Mrs. Unreal, because I don't know what your gender is.
Good vocals and good production.
Just didn't cut it. It was dumped. Not pumped or bumped. I'm sorry.
I thought you said I thought you had over 5. You got.
You know what?
We
all feel no.
It's 6.5.
It got 6.5 and 5s and 5s, but you know that thing is just ain't working as much as Mario didn't want to go to it.
You said
Damn. But I'd say this: out of all the tracks that we just played, that one was the lowest score.
Cheater.
Okay, he having a tangent. We don't know what's wrong with him. But you know, we gonna fix this. You know why? Because we're gonna play some more Love Shadow. And let's see what he got for us. This might change the groove a little bit. Here we go. Here we go.
Y'all be changing the rules?
No, we don't. Why he messing with me? Let's go ahead and do this.
I like changing rules.
Oh, you see how they are so bad. Here we go. Listen. you know this gonna take you back to the days when your grandmama and grandpapa was at the park or at home and they was barbecuing. You know how that is, man, it's still. Down in ATL, you're listening to Meko Williams, the Bump It or Junkie Show. Check it out. You know, I gotta give a love and shout out to all the elders in the family. Listen.
You see in black and white, no sepia tones breaking down the line. Ease in your mind. You're fine. You know the things that limit you. There's only so much time. I've got to find my way in this crazy world. You know we're losing in the meantime. Don't you think this world can be hard enough? You know that there's only so much time. I've got to find my way in this crazy world. You know that all we've got is this family, broken by the pieces of your gravity. You see this ain't right.
Well, you know, welcome back to Bump It or Junket. I do have to say this. I just played that extra by Love Shadow to give Mario a little teaser there. I'd like to say thank you, Minna Steele, for joining us tonight. The show will be actually ending in 2 more minutes. And shout out to Minna Steele, ATL, the Superman of the East Coast, the man that my CEO likes his name, Minna Steele. Well, you know, much love to you, sweetie. Thank you. And yeah, this song you can check out on ccmixter.org under the profile of Love Shadow. The title is called This Family, featuring Gone. Yeah. Well, you know, we got 1 minute to go. Let me go ahead and transition to the closing of the show. Thank everybody that's coming to Pack Stereo, chatting live, and also to Meko Williams live stream. But we're going to go ahead and go at this point. So if you want to hear about this song, go to ccmixer.org. Thank you for listening and joining us tonight. Much love, Minna Steele. Thank you, Mario Hensley and Victor Allen. I'm your host, Meko Williams. Here we go. Thank you for joining the show.